Hello and welcome, I am on Fun and today I want to showcase my Hell's Angel stacks. Actually, I want to showcase 3 variants of it and I want to go through what they all have in common first before diving into how they differentiate. First and foremost, they all center around getting Powder Angel out good and early. This helps to punish your opponent heavily for using search effects. Every time they search, they take 3 damage, maybe 2 damage down the line. I don't know how it will be nerfed. And on top of that, you get a good attacker early on, you get 1 defense. Against certain decks, this might be really valuable. On top of that, to add to this burn damage that we're going for, we're doing Blaze Angel. It's consumable to deal 3 damage each turn when we deblend it. Use it as an attacker until you can use Chrome Rocket to attack with. So Blaze Angel is your consumable, helps you get faster through round 1. You end the game before your opponent can outscale you because the damage output of the deck is rather low, so you want to end it as soon as possible before your opponent can do anything about it. Chrome Rocket, free damage attacker, is pretty good for a free gem. It has really good synergy when you can get it back into hand whenever you want, once during your turn, and that helps synergizing with Blaze Angel. You can have all 4 gems on the field and Blaze Angel deblended for the burn damage, put down Chrome Rock and attack with it. Just continue that way and you can wear down your opponent really quickly. We're running bishops to help search what we need, and Angel, and we're using quite a lot of gems, I suppose. We're using Claire to get an extra gem down when in the beginning. Then we use Erica to help making sure that we're getting the gems that we need whenever, if you have duplicate in the beginning, you can swap it out for the other gem that you're missing that you need. And because we really want to get going early, it matters in which order you get the gems, so Erica helps smooth that out. We're using a lot of blend searches with a lot of gem searches and super draws to help increase the likelihood of running into the cards that we need to see. On the bench, Lester to move around, Payton because we have a lot of 1-star actions, so it helps stunning. Controlling, we have Kula and ELAINE, not much thought has been going into them. Alright, the first variant, probably the most aggro of all of them, aims to get Powder Angel out on turn 1. It managed to do so by using the gem drop from Claire, using Francisco to move the gems around onto Erica, and then Reflector, putting down Reflector to reflect Claire for the 3rd gem drop of the turn. And there you have the gems for Powder Angel, and you can put down Powder Angel on turn 1. To make this more likely, we're obviously running Erica for the gem consistency, running Selma to find one of them, whoever we don't draw. To make it more likely to draw into at least one of them, we're running 3 Powder Angels, 3 Reflectors, 3 Blend Searches, 3 Super Blend Searches, and as long as we just draw into one of them, we can use Selma to find the other one. The strength of getting Powder Angel on turn 1 is that you're taxing your opponent for every single search that they do, and you're having an attacker. So if you go first, well, all their searches throughout the game will be taxed. If you go second, well, from the turn, not on turn 1, but for the rest of the game at least, they will be taxed. And you have a good attacker with 2 attack and 1 defense. And crucially, because you started out by putting 3 gems down on turn 1, your power curve will be, unless your opponent also have gem acceleration, will come a lot sooner, will be hitting a lot sooner than your opponent will likely be able to do. And though your power level is not as high as your opponent, will hit it sooner and thereby hopefully be able to rush down your opponent before they can do anything about it. It's very consistent for getting the turn 1. That's what it's made to do. That's the concept. However, for the turn 2 and onwards, it's not so reliable, because you kind of already spent all your resources just for turn 1, and now you have to rely on just drawing into the other cards. It's running 3 Reflectors, 2 of them you don't really want to see after you've seen the first one. So that's the issue with the deck, and that's what the other variants try to accommodate, though they sacrifice the burst that Powder Angel on turn 1 is. The second variant doesn't aim to do Powder Angel on turn 1. Instead, it uses Tal for the secure early damage output. All turn 1 effects would be dealt 3 damage to, so that means also Claire, which would not be a common dealt damage to with Powder Angel. As well, you don't rely on having to go on turn 1 to punish your opponent, and it just slows down a little bit. It doesn't get the extra gem from Reflector, which slows down the overall damage output. Like, it doesn't hit the key marks as soon as the first variant did, but at the same time, it doesn't have the reflectors in the deck slowing down drawing into the cards that you need. So that's the major difference. Just using Tal for the early secure damage and going Powder Angel on turn 2, and then having Capro Gems on top to run into Mirror Chaser and Shard Buster, which the first variant doesn't really have the room for. Alright, the third variant, and I think this is the better one. It doesn't have Tal, so it doesn't have the secure early damage. It doesn't rely on getting Powder Angel out on turn 1. Instead, it focuses on actually having an engine, which is Hickory Bishop. Well, it's not gonna be for long, but it's gonna get you where you want to be. So instead of running a lot of reflectors, a lot of blend surges to reliably get Powder Angel and Reflector on turn 1, you just use Francisco to move the 2 gems from Claire onto Hickory and find Reflector that way, and putting down 3 gems on turn 1, so it gets the benefit of the first variant and just gets the damage out there over the game before your opponent can do anything about it. But it doesn't do Powder Angel on turn 1. Instead, it has the option of going into Bishop after reflecting, and that way you can find your Powder Angels, you can find your Blaze Angels, your Chrome Rockets, and the gems that you need. So it really, the benefit adds up. That's the 3 major differences, and why I believe Hickory is just so strong, because it can accommodate a lot of the other stuff that's going on in other decks, while adding stability and adding the consistency, though it sacrifices the early damage. That's what the other decks has to their advantage. And I'm not quite sure internally which one is stronger, but overall I think the Hickory Francisco variant is overall strong against other decks because it's much more reliable. Alright, I want to showcase how the deck runs through the game and how it sets up, builds up the Blaze Angel Chrome Rocket apart from just the Powder Angel on turn 1 or 2. To do so, I'm taking the Hickory Francisco variant to showcase this. So this is a really good start. You do want to double Lucio with the Pyro to get Bishop on Hickory, because you want 1 Lucio gem on Erica on top of all this. The only thing we need is the Cryo gem, and that's really needed to get Reflector up and running, as well as Powder Angel as when it comes. So we're gonna take the Capra gem because we don't really need it now. We can always search it out with a gem search later on if we draw into Shard Buster. We're going to shuffle it in with Erica to find the Cryo Gem, and now we have all the gems that we need. So we're going to put the Cryo Gem on Claire, get the Lucio and Francisco with the Adamants, and then we're going to use Francisco's Research Distribution, which we can use 3 times. So 1 time to get 1 gem to Francisco, and then 2 moves to get them to Hickory, so that's 3 moves total. Alright, so now we can use Francisco's Metabolize effect to find a Reflector. There we have it. Very nice, very nice. Blend it on there, and then we're gonna take the Pyro Gem, because the next turn we can go directly into Bishop. There we go. That's our turn 2, turn 1, and let's go into turn 2. Oh, another Lucio Gem. That will be nice as we go on. Good. So we're gonna use this Reflector. We're gonna reflect Francisco. Obviously, we reflected Claire's Adamant last turn. Now we're going to reflect Francisco's Resource Distribution to get the Cryo Gem directly onto Erica, and then Reflector Deblend. Now we have the gem makeup for Bishop, and with this Bishop we're obviously going to find Powder Angel, and what do we need? Well, we have the Aerogem, we have the additional Lucio gems. Let's just find another Pyro Gem. We're gonna need another Aerogem as well, and a Cryo Gem as well, and that's the next 2 bishops will sort that out. Alright, so we're going to put the Aerogem down here, use research distribution first time to get it onto Francisco, and then second time to Erica, and then the third for the Aerogem. And that's all we need to get the Powder Angel set up. That turn 2, turn 3. Very nice, very nice. So if we draw something we don't really want, we can use the super draw to put it back in. Right, so Lucio gem from hand, and we continue with bishoping. This time we're gonna find the Blaze Angel because we already have Chrome Rocket in hand. We're just gonna go in for an Aerogem because, well, we're building up for that. And that's all for turn 3. Turn 4, oh, we have an Angel, so that's what we're gonna use with the super draw eventually. Alright, so we're just gonna put, well, we're gonna find the third and last bishop. We're gonna find an additional Blaze Angel, and that was the Cryo gem I was talking about. Alright, so here's the issue with this deck setup. In the other deck, you would just put the gems directly onto the next one, next hero, so you could immediately just Blaze Angel down, begin attacking. But because we have all the gems over here on Hickory, we need to move them all over to Claire manually. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna put an Aerogem on Francisco and pull the Pyrogem all the way over. That's 2 moves, and then the Aerogem, that's the 3rd move. Good. Then turn 5. It's nice to see another Aerogem because then we have it for Angel later on. So what you just could do is just put Cryogem on Claire and you'll be good. We can put the Cryogem on Francisco and move the Lucio gem over as well. And there we have the Cryogem. So now we have all 4 gems onto Claire. So what you do now is Blaze Angel for the free damage, and then you Chrome Rocket for the attack damage. Turn 6. We just continue building Hickory up for Angel. We're gonna take Chrome Rocket back to hand with Liftoff, then Blaze Angel with and Flame Burst for the free damage, consumable damage, and then Chrome Rocket back down for the free damage attack. Turn 7. At this point, you are likely to have gone through round 1 actually. That's very fine. Aerogem, Lucio gem, we have the gem makeup for Angel. So what we're gonna do now is, because we wanna use Metabolize, we're gonna use Super Draw to put Angel on the bottom of the deck. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah, at this point you really want to see the 3rd Blaze Angel, but it is kind of what it is. Anyway, so we're gonna use Metabolize and find Angel. And that's kind of it. For the name, well, obviously we use Hell's Angels. Obviously we're using a lot of angels and flying machinery. And some reference to White Powder and Flaming Infernal with Blaze Angels. So Hell's Angels felt like a very fitting name, as well as very aggro. It's very punishing, trying to punish your opponent, especially the Tal variant, I suppose, and the Powder Angel turn 1. Though this one also fits. It's just more, well, it tries to be more consistent, which I do believe it is. Even though the other ones aren't super inconsistent, because the likelihood of drawing what you need is just very high. And obviously I have a lot of gems in hand, and that's because I really need consistency in drawing the 3 of even 4, the 5 gem hands that I started out with now. It really increases the likelihood of seeing what you need to see, and getting the turn 1. Turn 1 is so important, getting the Reflector out and getting the aggro going, getting the damage going. So I think I have showcased all I needed or wanted to showcase with the Hell's Angels deck. I do think it's a really good deck. I don't think it's S tier, especially if Powder Angel gets nerfed. It's probably only a B tier deck, but I think it's just around A to B tier, B to A tier. It has its counters, but it definitely also counters very certain types of decks out there in the format that over relies on searching. Well, it doesn't over rely, but in case against this Powder Angel, they would be seen as over relying on searches. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you around.